The enemy has emerged from the castle and has formed defensive ranks.
Why would they come out? It is the height of idiocy. Sure, you must act as a decoy and attack from the south. Zhao, once the enemy reacts to Shi's attack, you must strike from the rear. This man, he rebels against Wei and strikes out on his own. And yet he is nothing but a mere fool! This battle is an insult to us all. End it!
Please, have mercy. I surrender.
The fact that you instigated a revolt is not such a great crime. Your greatest crime was having the temerity to think you had the talent to do so. You, who are unaware of your own mediocrity. Die.
Curse you!
What a miserable world this is, where we are forced to watch while idiots erupt in hysterics. Meanwhile, my own talents are destined to be wasted.
The cunning of Sima Yi managed to eliminate Gongsun Yuan. Not knowing the limits of his strength, he had turned his back on Wei and declared himself the king of Yan. Unable to control his anger towards this fool, Sima Yi was reminded of another man. The unparalleled tactician that had fallen at the Wujiang Plains, Zhuge Liang. Once his star had faded, the land had changed dramatically. Within Wei, Cao Rui succeeded Cao Pi as emperor and began a rule of greed and opulence. While within Wu, they watched the struggle between Wei and Shu as they stabilized their own country and strengthened their defenses. Meanwhile, determined to rebuild its strength, Shu remained quiet as it recovered. It was then that Cao Rui of Wei died and was replaced by the young Cao Feng. Supporting Cao Feng were the Wei general Cao Shuang and none other than Sima Yi. However, Sima Yi willingly gave up his authority and decided to retire instead. For he felt that dividing power between two people would only lead to chaos within the government. In addition, with Zhuge Liang gone, there were none who could match his intellect. Realizing this fact during his battle against Gongsun Yuan, he later disappeared from the public eye. And so, as the lone authority of Wei, Cao Shuang moved to attack Shu in the hope of returning Wei to its former glory. Sima Yi refused to participate in this battle and dispatched his son, Sima Zhao, in his stead. It was a sign of how much he missed having a worthy opponent.
We can place ambush troops here, but that means these supplies.
It's a little dark for map reading, isn't it? Who are you again?
My name is Deng Ai, my lord. I have had the honor of speaking with your father on several occasions.
Is that right?
I have something I wish to discuss with you, my lord.
The Night Rain, the tenacious waves of attack. I'd say they have quite the strategist leading them.
That would be me. And I'm here to claim your pay. That'll do. Pull out!
Well, it looks like we got away clean in the end. But the general may prove a problem. I suppose I should go and report on what happened to my father.
Most impressive, my lord. You reminded me of your father out there today.
What? Come on. Don't say things like that. Right. Let's move on out of here.
He defeats the enemy with assured decision-making and retreats by the safest route. It seems the Suma family is the only one that can reunite Wei.
Everybody demanded the return of the cunning strategist they had known. The army led by Cao Shuang to defeat Shu was unable to achieve any results. And Cao Shuang's reputation as a military commander was dealt a crushing blow. On the other hand, Sima Zhao's skillful retreat helped further the Sima clan's reputation as brilliant strategists. Cao Shuang was convinced that military action could not restore Wei to its former brilliance. And so he held a feast at the palace that lasted for several days. With this lavish banquet, he hoped to gain influence and power by winning over the hearts of the leaders and governing officials. However, his opulence began to put a strain on the coffers and accomplished little but to drain the country of its resources. Just then, word arrived that Zhang Wei of Shu was preparing to invade Wei. The only way to meet this threat would be to depose Cao Shuang and replace him with Sima Yi. Oblivious to these calls from the people throughout his country, Cao Shuang continued to hold his feasts. As the misguided rule of Cao Shuang continued, Sima Yi sequestered himself in a mansion within Luoyang and refused to come out. However, there was a distinct gleam in his eyes, like that of a wolf stalking its prey. This was the beginning of a coup d'etat, a natural move for one of such cunning intellect as he.
You mean he's too ill even to meet with me?
Yes. Recently he's begun to forget things. Frankly, I don't think he'll ever recover. Please give my regards to the general. By the way, where is the general right now?
Yes. I believe he is out on a hunt today. Now, if you will please excuse me.
Come, my son. Cao Shuang must be dealt with. I am not generous enough to allow such a fool to do as he pleases.
All my drinking, hunting, carousing, it is all for the future of Wei! You understand, I have to be seen as a strong leader!
What I understand is that you have proven yourself to be a most unworthy leader. For the future of Wei, I must eliminate such an incompetent ruler.
I was right to do what I did. Know your place. Our men were coming together as one under me. His Highness knew that!
You imbecile! If you thought your conduct was unimpeachable, then why were you spying on me? You feared me because you knew you were wrong, right? You blind, misguided fool. Kill him.
Sima Yi could not forgive Cao Shuang. He was a fool that cared only about what others thought of him, who let his insecurities drive him down the path of indecision. With Cao Shuang out of the way, authority over Wei fell to Sima Yi. Fearing for his life, Xiahou Ba, a relative of Cao Shuang's, decided to plot an escape. Learning of his intentions, Sima Yi made his way to the castle where Xiahou Ba was stationed.
Xiahou Ba will be heading for Shu. You don't wish us to give chase?
No. The Xiahou clan's achievements are well known. Killing him will bring unnecessary trouble.
He sides with his father's killers to save his own hide. I couldn't do it.
Fleeing to Shu, Xiahou Ba was made a general in their army. The events following Cao Shuang's execution unnerved the leaders of Wei. Indeed, Sima Yi, now the sole authority over all of Wei, also sensed something unusual going on. However, he was too busy to do anything about it. Carrying on the will of the late Zhuge Liang, Jiang Wei of Shu had resumed the invasion of Wei. Sima Yi sent his sons, Sima Shi and Sima Zhao, to go and deal with this threat. As they looked upon the Shu army at Mount Niutou, the sagacious young men thought to themselves, why would Father not participate in this battle? Why did he send us instead? These two brilliant young minds could not help but question their great father's choice. Would they find the answers they sought in this battle?
Give it up. You will never be able to beat me.
Maybe he could, if he had a little help!
Just in time, my lord. Take care. Jiang Wei and the traitor are here. Somebody go and inform our lord at once.
Come on, we've lost this. There's no point in sticking around here.
They know when they are beaten.
I swore to my lord that I would never give up until we had built a land of benevolence.
It's all right. It's okay.
Did you see that? That tenacity? Our father has left us with a few issues left to solve.
Why must people cling to their outdated ideals so stubbornly?
In the battle fought among the new generation of heroes from each kingdom, Sima Shi emerged victorious. However, the Sima clan was not given time to rest on their laurels. For at that very moment, a secret conspiracy was being plotted that would shake the kingdom to its very core. The Emperor of Wei, Cao Feng, was deposed. It was the result of a devious plot cooked up by Wang Ling following his attack on Wu. His aim was to depose the young emperor and replace him with an older one in order to reduce the Sima clan's influence within the court. Sima Yi's decision was swift. He quickly prepared his troops and set out to strike Wang Ling, who resided in Shouchuan. Unlike Shu and their repeated invasions, Wu had spent the past few years quietly building their strength. And they now hungrily awaited an opportunity to invade Wei. Of course, Sima Yi was too clever to allow Wu an opening. Though he knew that none could match his intellect and cunning, he decided to trust his instincts and quickly set off to eliminate his foes. Wang Ling was slain, and the Wu forces had no choice but to retreat. Sima Yi's influence increased greatly, and the kingdom of Wei largely fell under his control. And just as quickly as he seized power, Sima Yi took ill. He had been hiding his poor health for years, despite participating in countless battles. Enemies, allies, even his own family, he had fooled them all. It was a fitting end to one of the most cunning intellectuals the land had ever known.
Come to think of it, the last few years have been spent consolidating our rule. What's more, Father has moved with an uncharacteristic sense of haste.
He had us both fooled all along.
My time here is done. My son, you must lead in my place. Use it as you see fit.
You were just leaving it all to me.
Well, if I know you at all, you're excited by the prospect.
I won't deny it. There is none more qualified than myself to lead Wei into the future.
Just make sure that you walk the right path.
The cunning strategist Sima Yi passed away. Control of Wei fell to his eldest son, Sima Shi. The firm foundation of rule set by the Sima clan served to bring stability to the region. The winds of chaos that had swept the kingdom for years finally died down, and a peaceful quiet returned. However, the lands to the south were soon shaken by a new tragedy. In Wu, Sun Quan, the last of the Three Kingdoms era rulers, passed away due to illness. The Wu chancellor, Lu Xuen, died as well, and unrest began spreading throughout the land. The time had arrived. When Sima Shi learned that Sun Quan's successor was a young, inexperienced boy, he decided to launch a military campaign against Wu. Commanding the forces was his younger brother, Sima Zhao, as well as Zhuge Dan, among others. On their way to the Wu territory of Jianye, the Wei army engaged the enemy on the fields of Dongxing. People near and far watched earnestly as the first battle of the post-Sima Yi age unfolded before them. That day, the spirit of Zhuge Dan of Wei was without equal, soaring to the heavens.
Today we will claim Dongxing and bury the Wu forces.
Yes, sir! For you, General, we would give our very lives!
Lord Sima Zhao does not appreciate the gravity of the situation. He is so different to his cool, calculating brother. I must prepare for battle. Come, men! Victory is upon us! Follow me!
I, Ding Feng, will keep this stronghold safe.
Do you have something to say, my lord?
By attacking two castles at once, we will weaken our position. What's more, the river may force us to split our forces.
If you know that, then why not tell Zhuge Dan?
Why bother?
You should bother. It's what a ruler does. These soldiers are looking to you for guidance.
This is why I hate having all this responsibility.
All right, then.
Thanks to the efforts of Sima Zhao and his allies, the Wei army was able to avoid total annihilation. With the momentum on his side, the Wu general, Zhuge Ke, marched north from Dongxing. And he surrounded the new castle at Hefei, where the Wei army had taken refuge. With their backs against the wall, Sima Zhao and Zhuge Dan requested reinforcements from Sima Shi. Leading a single unit, Sima Shi broke through the Wu army's blockade and entered the castle. Once inside, he gathered up the shaken troops and prepared for a fight to the death against Wu. His superior intellect had been a source of pride, even for his late father, the famed Sima Yi. Now was the time for him to show off the genius strategies that would drive history itself forward.
This is all you have?
Brother, sorry about that.
Tell me, Zhao, what does it mean to you to hold high rank?
What? Well, actually, it means nothing.
Then discard it. That will be the punishment for your failure. I will punish the Suma and let Zhuge Dan off scot-free. And this integrity will prove invaluable in building my regime.
Brother, you...
Father told me to use power as I see fit. I intend to aim for the top.
The efforts of Sima Shi at Hefei would sweep away the failure of his family's previous attacks on Wu. Further, Sima Shi placed all of the blame for their defeat at Dongxing at the hands of his brother Sima Zhao. These actions won him the loyalty of many influential officers. As a result, the fame and influence of Sima Shi managed to surpass that of even his legendary father. Wei belonged to Sima Shi now, and its emperor was nothing more than a figurehead. It was then that Zhang Wei led Shu to rise up once again and strike at Wei. For the eyes of Zhang Wei, Wei was still a villainous entity that stood in the way of a world of virtue. Ambition, virtue. Shu fought for ideals rather than the tangible. To Sima Shi and his quest to reach the pinnacle of power, there could be nothing more disdainful. Sima Shi dispatched Sima Zhao, Wu Huai, Deng Ai, and several of his best troops to Tianshui. The hammer of the new conqueror was about to come crashing down on the pathetic Shu forces.
Lord Deng Ai, I just wanted to say...
You cannot fight in this state.
Lord Xiahou Yuan did a lot for me in the past. But when he was killed, I was unable to repay that debt. So I have to keep Wei safe. It was the only thing he wanted. Come what may. For the future of Wei, your life must end here.
You don't get it. It was Wei that tried to kill me. Or would you rather I say, I will kill you in the name of Shu?
It pains me. Your father must be rolling in his grave.
I don't think so. If I know my father, he'd be smiling. Come on, Guo. Do you really have it in you to kill me?
That is the intention. Hard as it is.
Then get on with it. What? I must say, that was the most unexpected turn of events.
Shu, cannot afford to lose you. I will hold them off!
Lord Guo, you're dead!
Jiang Wei's tenacity led him to success in slaying Guo Huai, but was ineffective against Deng Ai. Having defeated Wu and Shu, Sima Shi then turned his gaze toward domestic matters. He began to build his own military strength within Wei. Against him stood those that remained loyal to the Wei name. With him stood a new faction of those who supported his rule. The antagonism between them was almost palpable and worsened by the day. Around that time, Sima Zhao heard rumors of a plot to assassinate his brother. He hurriedly made his way to the court to warn his brother. There, he saw something shocking. He saw Sima Shi taking a leisurely stroll all by himself, completely unconcerned.
Brother! There are rumblings of discontent afoot. You should not walk alone.
But you won't bother to stop me.
What?
If they want to attack me, so be it. Right now, I am the only man fit to rule this land. But if there is one who can defeat me, I will gladly hand over the reins.
Our Lord, he is putting the fate of Wei in the balance. If he is killed, Wei will rule the land. But if not,
He will destroy Wei and rule himself. And yet he is so calm. He frightens me.
So this is all you have?
Brother!
I am still alive. Excellent. This land is mine to unite.
The mandate of heaven is with me. Having survived the assassination attempt, Sima Shi began searching for the source of the conspiracy. He traced the lines that connected the officers who remained loyal to Wei and despised the rule of the Sima clan. It all came back to the Emperor of Wei, Cao Feng. In response, Sima Shi deposed Cao Feng and immediately replaced him with Cao Mao. This hurried political maneuvering gave birth to more cries of outrage. Guanqiu Jian, Wen Qin, and other officers loyal to Wei began to raise troops in Shouchuan. They rose in rebellion against Sima Shi. This would be the last struggle of Wei, the final throes of a dying kingdom. Determined to bring an end to Wei himself, Sima Shi marched toward Shouchuan. It was then that Sima Shi could see it clearly. He could see the summit of his quest for power and the fate that had been promised to him.
Usurper! You will be done! Now, Wen Yang!
My lord, are you all right? Shochuan Castle is ours! Leave the rest to me!
Come, if you have what it takes to kill me. Even with supreme power, there are some things that cannot be controlled.
The enemy's ingrained loyalty, you mean?
That and fate.
My lord!
The land just barely slipped from the grasp of Sima Shi. For after quashing the rebellion led by Guanqiu Jian and Wen Qin, Sima Shi collapsed in the middle of the camp. And just like that, the ambition and intellect of this talented leader were extinguished. Fate had snatched him from this world just when his star shined brightest.
Brother. You fool! I thought I told you to defend Luoyang. Thank you for coming. Wounded by Wei's hatred, my wound has been further gouged by their tenacity. It's all such a waste. You must lead in my place, brother. Use it as you see fit. You're just leaving it all to me? I've heard that somewhere before.
Following Sima Shi's death, power was transferred to his younger brother, Sima Zhao. During this transition, the remaining Wei loyalists used the opportunity to seek their revenge. The Emperor of Wei, Cao Mao, demanded that Sima Zhao remain within Xuchang. It was part of a plan to strip Sima Zhao of his authority over the military. Surprisingly, Sima Zhao obeyed the command and remained within the city. For he was not yet ready to take on the duties and obligations of a ruler. Now that Wei had seized authority, Shu would surely move as well. Having learned of Sima Shi's death, Jiang Wei decided to undertake yet another invasion. Hearing this news, Deng Ai, Zhang Hui, and their allies yearned for Sima Zhao to again take the reins. For only with the help of the Sima clan had Wei ever managed to successfully repel an invading Shu army. Even the Emperor of Wei was unable to ignore this fact, and he allowed Sima Zhao to return to Luoyang. Released from confinement, Sima Zhao immediately set out with his troops to meet Jiang Wei's forces at Tao Shui. At last, he was finally prepared to deal with the expectations that his father, brother, and his allies had placed upon him.
That's that, then.
You were most magnificent out there, my lord.
Not that we'd expect anything less.
Hmm.
Lord Sima Zhao! Hooray! Lord Sima Zhao! Hooray!
My lord, you have earned this trust. And now, there is no one else for you to lean on anymore.
I know. I'm ready. But you'll have to let me complain sometimes.
Isn't there something else you should say first?
His power restored, Sima Zhao repelled the attacking Shu army in an impressive display of strength. Gone was the Sima Zhao who constantly depended on the assistance of his father and brother. In his place stood an ambitious young man who was ready to assume the mantle of leadership necessary to conquer the land. Meanwhile, the Emperor of Wei, Cao Mao, secretly approached Zhuge Dan at Shouchuan. Having connections to Wu, Zhuge Dan kept his distance from the other officers who kowtowed to Sima Zhao. Further, the animosity between the two left over from the Dongxing incident still remained unhealed. Cao Mao used their ill will to attempt to lure Zhuge Dan to his side. He told him that there could be no better guardian of the Wei kingdom. Behind Sima Zhao's brilliant glow, there lurked a dark hatred for Wei. As tension gripped the land, Jiang Wei made his move. This new Shu invasion came unusually quickly after its previous attempt. Realizing that the enemy must be unprepared, Sima Zhao sent Zhang Hui and Deng Ai to deal with the threat. And so Shu attacked, ignoring their lack of strength, struggling forth, fueled only by the dying wishes of their long-departed allies. Were they not still the common fools that had been so detested by Sima Zhao's father and brother? As Zhang Hui and the others headed for Duanggu, Sima Zhao began to realize. He could see at last who was the real enemy that corrupted the land.
Our Lord has ordered us to observe the enemy. I will go and take a look.
Wait just a minute. You're trying to steal all the glory, aren't you?
It never crossed my mind, my lord.
Then you won't mind if I go. Thank you. Finish them. Grind them into the dust.
That's odd. Where's Jiang Wei?
My lord, Jiang Wei's forces have been spotted.
Lord Zhong Hui is in danger.
So you saw me coming. However, my ambition will not be so easily stopped.
Defeated soundly at the hands of Deng Ai and Zhang Hui, the Shu army was forced to retreat from Duanggu. It would clearly take Shu some time before they were ready to plot another invasion. However, troubles continued both inside and outside the kingdom. Just as the external threats began to subside, Zhuge Dan began showing signs of restlessness. He had been offering the people of Shouchuan gifts to gain their loyalty. In addition, he treated his officers with uncommon kindness, and their respect for him continued to grow. Throughout Shouchuan, there were numerous voices calling for Zhuge Dan to rule the land. And so, tensions between Sima Zhao and Zhuge Dan reached their peak. Then, the Wei Emperor, Cao Mao, decided to appoint Zhuge Dan to a position within his court. He ordered Sima Zhao to summon Zhuge Dan to attend the appointment ceremony. Sima Zhao obeyed Cao Mao's request and sent for Zhuge Dan to come to the capital. Convinced that this was a plot to assassinate him, Zhuge Dan instead started a rebellion at Shouchuan. Left with no other choice, Sima Zhao led a unit to go suppress the uprising. He could feel it, the hatred that roiled beneath the surface of this battle.
They've allied themselves with Wu. They're coming from the south. Wen Qing defected to Wu, and he's in here. A little close for a scouting mission.
Jugadan. What is it you want?
You know what I want. You have ignored the Emperor and usurped power. I want you dead.
And once I'm dead, what will you do?
I will rebuild Wei under the Emperor.
If you wish to rebuild Wei, then why are you fighting alongside Wu?
You... Shut him up!
Look at him. He's lost sight of what it is that he's fighting for. It seems like there are too many like him. No clear goal. No understanding of his capabilities. He must die!
The reinforcements from Wu are not enough to break the siege. We must conserve supplies and release all non-personnel from within the castle.
You would actually be so cruel as to hand over our loyal followers to those monsters?
Sima Zhao has shown mercy to those who surrender. It is you who are hurting our people by starving them.
Silence!
You have lost your grip! Sima Zhao has proven the greater man!
Silence! I fought for Wei! I fought for our people!
If you meant to help Wei, then you should have understood your limits. It is a grave crime to misjudge yourself, and to lose sight of your goal. You must be punished for that.
Curse you!
At last, Sima Zhao had rid himself of indecision. After suppressing Jugadan's rebellion, Sima Zhao returned to Luoyang and calmly prepared for his next move. He wrested all authority away from the Wei Emperor, Cao Mao. It was not out of resentment for the time he had been sequestered in Xuchang. And it was not because Cao Mao had orchestrated Jugadan's rebellion. He had simply decided to accept the responsibility of uniting the land and bringing an end to the chaos. In the face of Sima Zhao's decisive actions, the last scraps of Wei's power were driven into a corner. And so, Cao Mao set out on one final gambit.
Sima Zhao's intentions are now known to all in the land. I will not sit here and wait for death. I will kill him and reclaim Wei.
Stand your ground, traitor!
So this is the Emperor's answer. A pity. There were other roads you could have taken. I will have to live with the fact that I have killed the Emperor until the day I die. And history will record me as a killer. But I will take this responsibility, and I will see it through.
Sima Zhao killed the Emperor of Wei, Cao Mao. However, Sima Zhao did not desire the throne for himself, and instead appointed Cao Huan as the new Emperor of Wei. Was it due to a sense of guilt for having killed Cao Mao? Or did he feel it inappropriate to take the throne after having perpetrated such treason? It would not be long before the people would learn the true intent behind his actions. Sima Zhao took Zhonghui, Deng Ai, and his other men and advanced on Shu's stronghold of Yangping Gate. They would retaliate against the countless attacks they had suffered at the hands of Shu. They would put a stop to the meaningless strife brought by Zhu, which had long ago lost its way and battled on merely out of habit. Sima Zhao would be the one to bring an end to the Age of the Three Kingdoms. This was how he would fulfill the promise he had made to the late Cao Mao.
Bashu is a natural fortress. It is surrounded on all sides by mountains, and the only road is well defended.
All the more reason they will not expect us to come over the mountains. I will make for Yingping via the mountains, and from there to Chengdu.
Then you had better hurry, hadn't you? If you take too long, I will go through Yangping Gate and take down Chengdu myself.
I will do my best. We will meet again at Chengdu then.
Let us begin.
Leave it to me. I will not lose to dullards bound by the words of the dead. I will finish everything here today.
You're awfully quiet. Not what I'd expect from the leader of a fallen army.
And you're not at all what I expected from a traitor to his kingdom. If anything, you have shown you possess the confidence and bearing of a true ruler.
I wish we could have met earlier, my lord.
We hereby surrender before you.
Liu Shan is no fool after all.
Shu still has resources to spare. It seems a little premature for them to surrender.
That's why it is a good one. From just the smallest skirmish with us, he has seen he cannot win. He has realized his limitations and has chosen surrender. You see, he knows what he wants. We were not fighting Liu Bei or Zhuge Liang. Their leader is still very much alive.
The long age of the Three Kingdoms finally came to an end at the hand of Sima Zhao. Liu Shan chose to surrender, thus sparing the lives of his people. Afterward, he was relocated to the Wei capital and was named Duke of Anle. He was the defeated ruler of a dead nation, a disgrace to his father. He was showered with endless ridicule and jeers. But now that it was all over, he was finally able to smile.
It sure feels good to know that Shu won't be giving us any more trouble. Hey, they'll hear you. Here, drink up.
Oh,
A song of Shu.
Does it make you sad to think of your country?
Not at all. In fact, I'm enjoying myself. There's no one around to tell me what to do anymore. No need to follow the dreams of the dead.
Too true. Too true. Those who built the Three Kingdoms were too idealistic. We have been trapped by their dreams, and that has kept the war going. But enough is enough. We must open our eyes. We are the new generation!
Sima Zhao took the title King of Jin and began his preparations for a new age. However, destiny had a different idea. He died a year later. His son, Sima Yan, forced the Emperor of Wei to abdicate, thereby destroying the Kingdom of Wei. Later, he himself became emperor. Over time, Wu underwent political upheavals and began to lose power. 15 years after the establishment of the Kingdom of Jin, Wu surrendered to Jin.
No one can suppress me. I'll be on my rampage until this chaos comes to an end.
Win, and win some more. I live for the day this chaos comes to an end.
I cannot be defeated, for I fight to protect and bring justice back to this world, no matter what the cost.
I devote to those I love and care my efforts to restore peace to life.
I live for the
My motivation lies in my pursuit for protecting my life. I only look at it beyond the field.
My foe has never missed anything.
Nothing's like the way it was before today. We live in a world.
I won't stop until I fulfill my duty.
Thus, the three kingdoms of Cao Cao, Sun Quan, and Liu Bei were all eventually conquered under the rule of the Sun clan.